Hey everyone, I tell you how we are in the process of financing our independent feature film Philipp Lahm. How we are doing it here in Germany in contrast to the US, what our premises and spatial requirements are for this feature film project and what we have experienced so far. I am Felix Kreuz and I'm making the feature film Philipp Lahm together with a dedicated team here in Germany. I have many roles in this small independent production, including director and producer. Conventional financing methods. Let's dive into the story of how we try to secure funding for our film Philipp Lahm by talking briefly about how independent film financing typically works in the US, where things run a bit differently than here, to be able to compare and for better understanding. In the US, securing funding often involves a mix of private investors, crowdfunding campaigns and partnerships with production companies. Filmmakers usually start by getting a development deal, which might include options for the screenplay, then attach talent to the project to make it more appealing to financiers. The real challenge is pitching the project to studios or independent financiers to lock the necessary budget. Often secure a distribution deal early is key to ensuring the film reaches audiences and recoups its investment. There are of course some exceptional productions that not only manage to make very special films on a micro budget, but also promote them successfully in a special way. Here, for example, you can mention the constantly discussed El Mariachi, Monsters or the Blair Witch Project and many others. In Germany, typical film financing works differently. Here, you partner with a production company, then apply to governmental film funds and try to secure production via several funding pots plus your own private funds and infrastructure, as well as through broadcaster participation, while these broadcasters often have a particularly large influence on it, maybe not only for the best. Now, let me take you through our very different experience with the German film funding process specifically for this movie. Until now, we are just in the beginning of the production. It's been a journey full of highs and lows, so I thought I'd share the story of how we managed to finance this project so far. This will be a long-form film intended for festivals and cinema. Though small in scale, it aims to be a significant leap from student filmmaking. Premises and goals. From the outset, it was crucial to me that everyone involved in making this film got paid, even if it was just a standard amount, which is not necessarily a given for a small independent production and certainly not for a student film. I wanted this to be a professional production, not something where people work for free. To make this happen, we needed enough funding to ensure we could see the project through the completion while paying everyone at least minimum wage. We started by applying for a film grant, submitting a detailed budget that included my own contributions, and sought support from 2 film boards, 3 potential sources of funding, which we hoped would allow us to keep the project on track. The first news came from FFF Bavaria, which offered a small grant that we were really counting on, especially since Philipp Lahm is such a Bavarian story. It's about a football player based in Bavaria who trained there before achieving worldwide fame. Unfortunately, despite our hopes, they didn't find the project compelling and decided not to fund us. This was a major blow, as our entire budget depended on this money. With this rejection, we had to rethink our funding strategy. Next hope was the federal ministry, which also distributed funds based on jury's decision. This time we received much better news. Not only did they agree to give us the money we requested, but they also covered the amount FFF Bavaria denied. This put us in a much better position, though there's still a catch. While the jury praised the film as artistically valuable, the bureaucratic process that follows is another challenge. We now face a series of procedural hurdles to prove we are capable of producing the film according to their rules. These checks are purely procedural, ensuring we meet all legal and regulatory requirements, but they add significant time and effort to the process. If we can navigate these obstacles, we'll finally have the funds needed to pay our crew and finish shooting the film. Though just barely, as the budget is still tight, covering only the minimum wages for the team. But with persistence and a bit of luck, we are hopeful that we will be able to complete Philipp Lahm and share the process and the finished movie with the world. Feel free to write what you want to know about our production process in the comments and stay close to the action with the behind-the-scenes shorts that we often post on all social media channels you can find in the description down below. So that was it for today. Hopefully you liked it and you're gonna be interested, and we'll see us soon.